So family, friends. But that's where, when I saw that, the email come in, not only do we love the event that you've always put on, it's always so much fun. We're pouring bubbles. Everyone's excited, high on endorphins. It just felt like a natural fit. We love running. We love bike rides. We have so much going on. And so I was really glad when you guys reached back out, and we can hang out with you now too.
It's cool.
It's super cool. And I mean, this is one of our mottos, like from Oregon, for Oregon, in Oregon, and everyone that wants to come and join from all over the nation or even the world. I mean, Oregon Wine Country gets more and more famous, but don't you have a little bit of a Corvallis running story too, John? So when we talked, when we had a logistics meeting a few weeks back, and we talked about aid stations and water stations, you get very particular and like, how many do you need? How do we? And I'm like, why is he asking those questions? So it turned out that you have like some history with half marathons and everything too, just not too far from here in Corvallis, right?
My Rotary Club, I was part of the Rotary Club of Corvallis After 5, and we would put on the half marathon in Corvallis, and so everybody would be helping to make that kind of an event. And you have to have enough aid stations, you have to have enough again, customer service to make sure that the people who come to run, the families that come to run, road races and events should be lots of fun. It should be enjoyable. And that's one of the things that we're real excited about having this event in Independence, to make it a fun event, because we all work real hard during the week and do those kind of things that we have to do. And on a weekend or a holiday, we want to have a lot of fun and enjoy our times with fun family, friends, and just people that we meet along the way. And so we want to make sure that we have all the infrastructure in place. And what was so exciting is you folks knew what needed to be done to make it a really fun experience for people. And that's one of the reasons we're really excited to be able to partner with you folks, because you folks are doing it first cabin all the way, and we're really honored to be able to associate with a first-rate operation.
Thank you. And all these aid stations are actually great fundraisers for local communities. They can just take over a whole aid stations, they get a little donation, they volunteer for the race. So it's really, you can run the race, you can volunteer, you can pour wine, you can be a partner. Like, whatever makes you to get involved is what we want and what we think really brings the community together again, especially after 2 really hard years for all of us. It's so excited to have this happening. So to talk a little bit about the schedule, on Saturday we have our expo and race pickup and a little bit of like a marketplace vendor booth at the Riverview Park. I think Eola will be there too, and then we have a little yoga and wine event happening too. So
that's actually, I guess I didn't touch on that when I was talking about all the sports, because we do so many fun things. We have partnered with a company called Beer and Yoga. We are the winery edition, but also we're the Northwest. You got to have some good beer. You got to have some good wine. And so when we reached out, the wheels kept spinning. We kept getting excited. How can we just get people to soak up our area so much more and enjoy this beautiful little piece of paradise that we have? And so we will be doing a little yoga class out at our Legacy Estate Vineyard, which is tucked right into West Salem, up by what we call Legacy Lake. It's just this beautiful flat area. You're surrounded by vines. So you can come, do some yoga, have a glass of wine, and just stretch and get ready for the race in the morning.
Perfectly. Just stretch it out. And so we also have beer at the finish line, because Independence also has a pretty great history about beer and brewing and hops in Oregon. I think, John, you're a beer guy, right?
Oh, I enjoy both beer and wine.
Oh, phew.
Yeah, there you go.
Independence was known as the hop capital of the world, especially in the early part of the 20th century. And people would come from all over to pick the hops. 30 to 50,000 people would descend upon our small community and pick hops. And hops are still grown throughout the region, and we are a place where you can get beer and wine and food. Again, it's those are the kind of things that make us a fun and enjoyable place to be in. Hops are part of our history, and you'll see hops growing in some of the businesses, and as you drive through, especially in the September time, you'll see hops on strings and the cables, and you'll see people out doing it. So that's part of our heritage.
Yeah, amazing. I'm learning more and more the more we talk, and every time I come here. And we already talked a little bit about Saturday. So Sunday we have the race. We start bright and early. We'll run and kick off at sunrise. I think we have John starting the race, and it's not that he's just the mayor of Independence. He also has a pretty big sport history that he hasn't shared yet. We already know about the pre-connection, but I think we also have an Olympian amongst us here.
I was a member of the United States Olympic team in 1980 as a track and field person. I'm a hammer thrower, ball and a chain, spin it around, but they make us do it in a cage. And so so I competed for the U.S. in the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s, and so I've had the pleasure of competing in a number of different places around the world, and that I think adds a little bit to my understanding of what it takes to make a special kind of community, because seeing festivals in other parts of the world and what works and what doesn't work, and we've got a great team in Independence that working with your folks that are going to make it a great experience for people to come, to visit, to enjoy, to have a great time, and to want to come back again.
Yeah. We have no intention to leave anytime soon, so be careful what you wish for. So we have the race on Sunday. We'll start bright and early. We'll have a music and wine festival and beers and snacks from the community and the local businesses from 9 to noon. But then what do people after? I mean, it's Labor Day weekend. It's a long holiday weekend. People are flying, traveling in. What are your top 5 things you do when you're on staycation in Independence? What is something people can't miss out on?
Well, sometimes it's just sitting down because the Willamette River flows beautifully just right through the middle of town. Sometimes it's just peacefully sitting there and watching the river flow. And then we have bald eagles that nest right along the river. So how often can people actually see wild bald eagles, America's national bird, flying right in front of you and just sitting there and watching them, and or as the ospreys go fishing? There's wineries galore to be going out and enjoying. There are hikes along the river, up and down the Willamette Valley. You can kayak along the river. There's a number of different kinds of things that you can do. It depends what you'd like to do. If you have kids, there are playgrounds and adventures that you can take. Of course, you can take a kid to a creek anywhere and they're happy for the afternoon. Or you can take a group of adults and explore several wineries that are within just minutes of downtown. So those are all the kinds of things. Are just wandering through the shops and looking at some of the antiques and just sitting and visiting and meeting the people. Just like a day like today, we're just having a great time sitting out here at Eola, enjoying the ambiance, the gentle breeze, a warm summer day. I mean, isn't this what we live for? We put up through the wet and cold times of the month when it's a little rainy and drizzly. We live for these days. Some people talk about Oregon being the land at Eden's Gate. Well, this is Eden's Gate here, and this is why people live in Oregon and enjoy the great things that we have in our community.